Okay. I've just got my friend Steve Hofstetter to join me on a moment's notice. We've both just learned this horrific news that Jimmy Kimmel has been taken off the air indefinitely. People may or may not know why. We'll get into it right now. But Steve, you were the first guy I thought of to get your reaction, both a student of history, a cultural and political commentator, and a hilarious comedian. So what's your initial reaction here?
I thought I couldn't find the comment that he said that caused him to be taken off the air. And it turned out, no, I did find it. I just didn't understand how that could possibly be something that he could get taken off the air for. It's so nothing.
That's right. But it doesn't really matter. We'll talk about exactly what the comment is, but it doesn't really matter what he said because they can do whatever they want. In this case, it looks like one of the networks carrying this, one of the local networks, Next Gen, was somehow looking to merge. And of course, this is the same thing that the administration has done with CBS and other companies. If you want to merge, if you want to buy that company, you got to do what we tell you. You got to take our orders. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I do understand that, like, this is terrible regardless. It's terrible. It seems to be a path towards state-run media. I am glad that this is happening in a time where there are so many other ways to get news. And there are so many other ways to get entertainment, and a time where traditional television is fading in importance anyway. It is a little ridiculous that ABC is like, hey, you know what? We got to go after this coveted younger demographic. You know who really we should cater to? Old white men. Like, that's the way to get the youth. If we kowtow to old rich white men, then the youth will come a-calling.
It's a really good point about demographics, who's watching, where the money is, where the those who spend the most, the marketable or profitable demographic is. What does this say in terms of like the level of kind of authoritarianism or fascism? I feel like we're here. This is a fascist, the most obviously fascist thing that you could do. The federal government, led by the executive branch. It's not like Congress was asking for this, right? I mean, this is our dear leader, our Mad King, basically ordering his FCC chief or his FCC chief doing this just to make the Mad King happy, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know if Trump is involved in this directly, but this is something that came from the head of the FCC, which is clearly, a move in order to keep his job. And the only way to keep his job is to have complete and utter loyalty to this MAGA regime. It is so ridiculous that people seem to, and the way that they're reacting to this Charlie Kirk news is people seem to be trying to get anyone fired who didn't post something worshiping Charlie Kirk. I posted 4 things about Charlie Kirk. When
I saw some of what you posted, I thought it was pretty ballsy, and you got it looks like you got attacked from about a billion corners of the internet.
I don't think it was ballsy at all. I posted 4 things. One, first of all, I called it a tragedy twice, and one post was specifically saying I will not celebrate this or gun violence of any kind. So that was one of the posts. Mm-hmm. One of the posts said, mocked the idea that that violence seems to only happen in blue cities, because this was Orem, Utah, a small red area in a smaller red state that violence happened in. And this myth of Chicago and DC and et cetera is garbage. So I made fun of that. I said, is it too soon to talk about gun control? Which is not taking a side on who he was, if he deserved to die, or et cetera. And then the 4th thing, I specifically said it was tragic. I pointed out the irony of someone who was a gun advocate getting shot. And then I made a joke about Trump being a pedophile that had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. And I got probably 100 death threats. I got people threatening to get me fired, which is so funny to me, because fired from what? You want to email a 20-year-old credit? Like, what are you going to fire me from? I do my own thing.
I mean, your next comedy gig, your next venue.
Yeah. I mean, they could cost me a gig potentially. But first of all, most of the venues I play know who they're booking when they book me. Second of all, they also don't care who they're booking because I sell out a theater. So I'm in charge. It's the same reason why Charlie Kirk was able to be invited to campuses, because he was popular. You know, he wasn't popular among the same group that I'm popular with. But the point being that, like, people came after me and I said virtually nothing. I didn't talk about his history of white supremacy. I didn't talk about the horrific comments he has said many times. I didn't reach out to make the point about how someone's death does not change who they were when they were alive. My take on this is I will not celebrate his death, but I also will not celebrate his life. And some people seem to think that anything less than celebrating his life is saying that they're glad he's dead. And that's not what people are saying.
So Jimmy Kimmel, last night on Jimmy Kimmel Live on his show, he's facing backlash for saying that the MAGA gang was trying to score political points off Kirk's murder after the conservative activist was shot dead. Quote, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with MAGA gang trying to characterize this kid who killed Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them." That's the comment.
Yeah, that's it. He was suggesting that Tyler Robinson, the guy who seems to be the one who murdered Charlie Kirk, was right wing. And that is something that so many people have suggested. That is something that, like, I mean, I guess you could believe these flowery text messages that they allegedly have from him. The text messages where he was like, "My darling Cecilia, I'm coming home from war."
Right.
Before I do, like, those text messages, oh my God. Like, the most telling thing about them, by the way, Jay Black pointed this out, and it was incredible. The double space after the period. Like,
oh, I sometimes do that, though. I guess that makes me a murderer.
No, it makes you someone who is older than 35 years. Like, that stopped being, like, the idea of a 22-year-old typing like that. They stopped teaching that 20 years ago.
People don't believe that the text messaging conversation that's been released is real. Is that the deal? That's the joke.
I sure as hell don't. I absolutely do not. I don't believe that is real for a second. The idea that he so conveniently, so this, the FBI, the same FBI that arrested the wrong person and that had no leads whatsoever until Tyler Robinson walked himself in and then took credit for, "We got the guy." It's like, no, the guy got the guy and he gave himself to you. But these messages, the premise that he confessed, gave all the specifics, pointed out his father's political beliefs and saying that he didn't agree with him, referred to his, like, "Oh, my trans roommate lover," like, just everything that they needed for exactly what they were saying. There's no way those are accurate. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there's no way. And there's no way 22-year-olds use that language. There's no way 22-year-olds write that way. Also, he got the meme wrong. The meme that he used, the OWO, he said UWU. Like, that's not even the same meme.
I don't know what to believe. I don't buy any of the conspiracy stuff yet, but that's secondary to me to this news that Jimmy Kimmel's been taken off the air. And I mean, what does this mean for you? What does it mean for me? Your first point was these legacy TV networks are dying anyway, but they're going to keep coming after probably the most influential, and then they'll work their way down until, I mean, what do you think it means for you? Does this chill your free speech, Steve Hofstetter?
Look, I am concerned about something like this, absolutely. But if anything, it ignites more of a fire under me to continue building my own platform. I understand that right now, technically I am using other people's platforms. I'm using Meta, I'm using YouTube, I am using Blue Sky and, Substack and all these other places. But we have to build our own. We can't rely on, a bunch of people in a boardroom who have no morals whatsoever other than how much money it makes them. We can't rely on that anymore. And yes, is it possible that one day YouTube and Meta and, certainly possible that Meta does it, decide to deplatform us all? Yeah, absolutely, that's possible. But there will always be another tech company clamoring for us. And I think that we need to look at what people did previously when it didn't have to do with politics. Conan got bigger after he got canceled because he leaned into independent media. And that's what we need to do.
What do you think about the comedy community, particularly the most influential people on the right? Like, I'm guessing Joe Rogan is going to be aghast at this. I don't know how close of friends they are anymore, but they used to co-host a show together. And this is so nothing what he said. And I can't imagine that the most influential right-wing comedians are going to be okay with this. You already saw that asshole Matt Walsh against what Pam Bondi's wants to do, to go after people for things that they say. And he's not a comedian. So what do you think is going to be the reaction from the comedy community, and even particularly, and maybe more importantly, the kind of right-wing, comedy community?
I think that's an excellent point. And, more so than Rogan, I mean, Corolla, who's gone hard right, who they're very close. And, Corolla owes his career to Kimmel. And he's talked about that many, many times. And I don't think that they're going to be happy about this. Unfortunately, there are so many people on the right that can't see a problem until it happens to them. You see all of these people who are just like, well, I thought they were going to go after other immigrants, not my wife. Or like, I just thought that they were going to scoop up the illegal immigrants that I didn't hire, right. etc. And so I think that maybe there's a chance where these right-wing podcast bro grifter types that have been, ushering in fascism in order to get ads from boner pills, maybe they'll actually wake up because it's coming into our industry, even though they should have seen that years ago.
We are so used to the late night comedians kind of being the gatekeepers, the most influential people in comedy, the opportunity creators, the last word on the night's news, maybe the funniest, because obviously they've got great writers and so on. That has changed so much over our careers alone. And as you said at the beginning, these shows were always going to go away, but they were going to go away on their own. They were going to die a natural, slower death. And they weren't going to be forced off by the federal government. What do you say to the idea that the right has been shouting about cancel culture forever, and now they are the government canceling people's free speech? It's quaint to talk about hypocrisy at this point, I guess, Steve, but still, it's crazy that they were screaming about, I guess, as long as they're winning, they don't care. As long as it's not being done to them, as you kind of said.
Yeah, rules for thee, not for me. It's as simple as that. There is no cancel culture. There is consequence culture. And this is something, and I understand that the actual words for what is happening to some TV shows is being canceled. But for actual people don't get canceled. People get arrested. People get fired. People don't get canceled. Everyone who has ever claimed to be canceled has a bigger audience than they used to.
Pretty much.
And so I do think that there is a huge hypocrisy from the people who will rail about cancel culture in one post, and in the next post, they will talk about wanting to cancel someone. But also, there's a lot of hypocrisy from those people on a million other issues. And so I'm not surprised at any of that. I do want to say, I hope that Kimmel, I hope Colbert, and I hope a lot of other people see that legacy media is not what it was. It's not the freedom that it was. It's not the reach that it was.
Yeah.
And when I started, and I know I started after you, but when I started, it was still true that you get on the Tonight Show and your life changes. Now that started changing pretty early in my career. And it got to be that, you get on the Tonight Show and it's pretty good, and now you get on the Tonight Show and people go, hey, congrats. And like, it's not a big deal anymore. It doesn't really matter anymore. And meanwhile, some idiot in Austin with 1 minute of racist comedy can suddenly get 100,000 followers because they have the same amount of racism as someone on the panel of Kill Tony.
What do you think Colbert and Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon and Jon Stewart and everybody at The Daily Show, how do you think they will and how should they react to this news?
Well, the left tried combating Fox News with Air America. But what they didn't realize is that Fox News was successful because of fear. Air America and things like it are not going to be successful because of fear. They're going to be successful because they have the right amount. They have the right amount of people who are, who have their own audiences, etc. And hopefully they put some money together and they start their own thing.
I think that it's really, a lot of people are talking, a lot of people are saying, Steve.
It's a good impression.
The faster it gets bad, the faster things can get better. A lot of times people are referring to the economy. It was certainly the case with the pandemic. Arguably, it's why Trump didn't get reelected, because of the fucking pandemic. So I'm already hearing that kind of claim. Like, this is so bad and so blatant and so outrageous that it's going to turn enough people, wake up enough people. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel being canceled, I feel like that's going to cut through. It's going to be on TikTok. Every young person, whether they know who Jimmy Kimmel was, they probably saw the clips. And even if they didn't, they're going to say, wait, what? Like, this is so bad. And people think that sometimes it has to get worse before things change. What do you think of that theory?
I think it's correct to a degree. We need to, if we still have elections next year, things will get better. That's a big if, considering how fast things have gotten bad. I am curious to see what happens in some of the smaller elections this year. New York City mayor and Minneapolis mayor are two pretty big ones. Those will kind of show the temperature of the country. If we can prevent us from descending into a dictatorship for the next year and 2 months, I think we take back Congress, we take back the Senate, and I think that starts to change some things. But that's a big if.
I feel like we're already there. I don't know dictatorship is the best word, authoritarian regime, but I feel like we're already, like, this is the most fascist, obvious fascist playbook thing. And every day there's something out of the playbook. But this attack on speech by the attorney general and the president and all of his minions, the vice president, this attack on, I mean, Board of Education members and teachers and anybody who made a comment about Charlie Kirk, like, it might not be the flashpoint, the killing of Charlie Kirk, where they, they start their night raids and killing any liberal that they know, but it might be coming for your career, your job, your livelihood in a way that we've never seen. And that is some old school authoritarianism, like that, and the way that they can do it. They could find anybody who said anything, anybody who posted anything, and they're the thought police. It feels very Orwellian.
It really does. And, one thing that does really scare me is, if you've ever seen pictures of Baghdad in the 1950s, it looked like any European city.
It was nice.
And to see what that ended up becoming through one administration change, and then, obviously it got worse and worse. It's very possible for things to flip. But also, the encouraging thing is Germany went from fascism to pacifism in 1 generation. And I am very much hoping, like, no one in Germany could imagine anything that happened in either world war happening there now, because the society has changed so much. And so it can flip in either direction. And the optimist in me looks at this and goes, all right, these alleged free speech absolutists were clearly lying.
Right.
And Hopefully the people who that does matter to, they'll lose those a bit. And again, I just hope that we still have an election. If we have an election,
Yeah.
I'm confident things change. If we have an election in the way that, like, there are some countries where the ruling party somehow got 108% of the vote, like, if that happens, we're screwed. But if we have an actual election, we're going to be okay.
Well, I'm worried about that for sure, as we all are. All right, I'll let you go. I just woke you up or something. I appreciate.
I was having dinner. Thank you.
I appreciate you. What were you eating?
I was eating. There's actually a lovely. I live in Charlotte now, and there's a lovely New York deli here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's great. They even have Mets jerseys on the wall. It's the best.
Ah, very exciting. Well, I appreciate you being available to me. You're one of my oldest friends, a guy I trust implicitly about everything. And anything to plug on the way out? We got a whole bunch of people watching live.
Well, and unless it's all canceled, I have a whole bunch of tour shows coming up. Dates on my website, and just check out my social media at Steve Hofstetter on pretty much everything.
There you go, Steve. You are a leader. You're inspiring, and I'm really glad that you're able to have this conversation on a moment's notice about one of the most popular comedians we know.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate it. And we're in scary times. Keep fighting the good fight.
All right, bud. You can go. You're dismissed. Okay. I appreciate it, bud. There you go, Steve Hofstetter. Very nice that he was able to join me. I like to talk about him while he's still sitting there before he can't figure out how to get out of the room.
That red thing at the bottom. How do I? Oh, there we go.
The red thing at the bottom.
All right, I found it. I'm new.
I can't do these interviews without you. I basically live in this studio, and I'm going to be here through most of it, and I'll try to go live whenever I can, even if I'm not here, because what we're seeing in real time is something that I think that we need to discuss. And my value, I'll plug me, is that I know a lot of smart people, and I can get them to talk to me real quick and tape a conversation. So if you can't watch it live, you can hear it on my daily podcast. If you want to support my work, please do it at patreon.com/Pete Dominic. And CNN's calling me, so I guess they want me on. I'm going to go. All right, guys. Bye. Hello.